Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for ICP. Now before I get started, I would urge you to watch through this video because this count has changed several times, but we did get the directions correct. But I want to show you how you can use the tools as well as the indicators to eventually get on the right side of things. And I also think we are at a significant bottom on ICP, and I'm going to show you the trade setups I'm planning on taking. Okay, so first of all, this is my new count. Now originally, if you watch my previous videos, we had this as more of a diagonal, 3-wave moves. This was our third over here, and then we had our fifth over here. So 3-wave moves, ABC, ABC, and eventually we actually got a 5th wave with a very extended 4th wave. Now a couple things as we were going through this is you could have pulled your wave 1 off wave 2 Fibonacci extension tool, and you can see we came just shy of the 2.618 extension for our 3rd wave. So when that happens, you can say, okay, wave 5 is most likely not to be the extension. So the best way to measure that is our wave 1 off of our wave 4, target around the 1-to-1. You can see we ended up hitting that for the 5th wave. Now where this got confusing is we pull off our wave 1 and 2. You can see none of our pitchforks are really working, right? It just got too extended. You'd have to do this wave by wave, which is kind of what I did. And even still, you just get really extended waves, right? But if you go back to the basics, this is what I would suggest doing when you're kind of losing track. Just start from the beginning of wave 1, off of wave 2, extended off wave, top of wave 1, and you expect the 4th wave to bounce off that. And you can see we did that, but way over here, way over here. We're likely to get our reaction and our 5th. So you can see that actually eventually worked, even though this got extended way out, and we got a flat pattern for our 4th wave. Pretty neat, right? So if you just kind of leave those on for indicators, and then you can take your wave 1 again to target your wave 5. Boom. Now, as per labeling, this is obviously the 3rd. We can look at our indicators. And we got the most volume in wave 3, biggest spike up here for our 3rd wave. And for our 5th wave, you would be on the 4-hour to see the divergence between our wave 3 and 5, as you can see we got there. Now you're not going to see divergence very easily between this 3rd and 5 on the 4-hour chart. That is because each individual wave here is working off the 4-hour RSI. So this is most likely on the daily to actually see divergence between the 3 and the 5, which we got right here. So you can see higher highs, lower lows on the RSI. So you can see how using those simple tools and just a couple indicators, you could have gotten very close to a high there. Now, moving on from there, I put on our standard fib retracement tools from the beginning of wave 1 to the end of wave 5. And a standard area we expect is the 618, the 50 to the 618. Now, as I was tracking this out, saw a 3-wave move, a very extended triangle. It's pretty obvious when you're zoomed out on the daily. Excuse me. I then took the thrust measurement, which is the beginning of wave A. You extend out these some people don't measure these properly. They take from the end of wave A and take their measurement from here. supposed to pull back your trend lines from the B and D and C and A and take your measurement from where wave A started. So right like this. It's a big thing I noticed people make mistakes on. Quite often. You'd usually just underthrow your targets, so you'd leave a little bit of profit on the table, but that's the correct way to do it as per Elliott wave. Now, so we take our thrust measurement, which I just showed you, put it off our E wave, hit target. Boom. Target was at 796.3. Okay, so that was a potential pivot at the 50. So that was an option for us to extend to the upside. Now, things that would be red flags is, okay, we started with a 3 here. This should be 3 waves. Right here. This should be 3 waves. I don't really see 3 waves. It's actually shorter in time than this W wave. It should be a little bit longer in time. So I'd say, okay, maybe this is just our A wave in our Y wave. Right? So these are questions you can ask yourself. And as you can see, as we started to pan out, we actually made another triangle on one lesser degree. So we'll go down to the 1 hour. So at this point, we're at the 50. We hit our target right there for our thrust, which we were expecting. And what I was doing in this area was looking for this to turn into a 5-wave move off the bottom, because it's possible. Maybe this is just a very fast WXY. More guidelines than rules, right? So if I got something like this, I was ready to buy on the pullback. So at this point, I'm just watching, right? And as I see this start to pan out, it's like, okay, most likely another triangle. And E wave came pretty close to invalidating. As you can see, I put a tick at the top of the C wave here. I actually need to correct that. Boom, right there. The highest point of our C wave. And you can see our E wave did not overlap right there. So at that point, I measured the thrust, again, pulling the A wave and the B wave extended back, take the measurement, that's right here. So our target for that was 669.1, and we came through that. So at this point, we are just looking for a matching wave. Because as you know, we got 3 up here. It has to be a Y wave because it's not a flat, so we can't get 5 here. So this should be the final move. Now going back out to the daily, I actually put I call them stink bids. That's a joke, but they're the golden zone buy levels. I actually took it. It's been in there for like 2-3 weeks. I put this bid in all the way back here, and the trade setup was like this. This has been sitting on here for weeks. Reason being is I saw this triangle, the target of it from our W wave off our X, the 1-to-1 for our Y, is right there at $6.41.9. That's this red line right here. That was the ideal target where Y equals W. And then I saw the 618, very close. Get rid of this 50. Very close, and I put my stop at the 0.66. I know some people do 65. I like to give it a little more room just for those candles to wick down. So that was my zone, as you can see, the 1-to-1 and the 618. Stop right back here. So that's the current entry I am in, potentially complete, and ideal target if this pivot holds. Make sure I'm on the pivots. Yep. If this pivot holds and we are making an impulse, target is $156 for our third wave of one larger degree, which is this, this, this. Can we get there by the end of the year? We'll see, but I am in it. Okay, so how can this fail? Again, we need this to be a three-wave move, right? So if this is a five-wave move here, the only real way I see this to still be bullish and we continue to the upside is this ends up making some sort of five-wave move in the C wave. So this is actually wave one of the C wave, and we'd come down like this, down like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'd get a matching wave here. So evidence for that is we'd expect the A, B, and C, because there is a triangle in here as well, as you can see. We'd expect the 1-to-1, so maybe this pulled us back a little bit. And we get maybe some sort of diagonal. 1-to-1's at 4,857, but my minimum requirement is the 618, which we tagged. And I rely more on further out patterns, which is the 1-to-1 here and the 618. They have more value to me than this last wave extension. Larger time frames rule everything, right? You can also see I put a channel on here, WXY, tag off the bottom of the channel, right? This is all pretty much ideal Elliott wave targets. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, channel, 3, 618, valid. So I just wanted to show you this. This is a great case study, and this was a tough count to the upside, but we had the direction correct. And if you just went back to the basics again, 1 off the 2, expect the 4th to eventually tag off the top of this. All right, pretty cool. But anyways, that's how I came to that conclusion. I think I even put it down. Yep, that was our third thrust target. A lot of triangles in this setup. That was our B wave in our final Y wave. We had the A, B, C, D, E. There's our thrust for the final one. We hit that. We had to push a little bit through the 1-to-1, the 618. Stop is right here. Okay. So all evidence currently points that the low is in. So what am I looking for now? I've been tracking this out, potentially for a leverage up after this completes. Move my stop to this low after that, but I'm going to give it a little more room. But this is a tough one here. I'm tracking 2 counts. Get rid of that. So I'll either have this as a, let me zoom in here. So this one over here, I took from the low as a 1, 2, put our extensions up, expect a third at around the 618. We're currently at that. You're going to see a lot of overlap on the smaller time frames. It doesn't mean there's not 5 waves there. It's just very noisy. So keep that in mind. That's why further out time frames kind of rule everything. So as of right now, I'm just looking for a 5-wave pattern. Ideally the 1.618. This technically counts, but you can see our third wave is a little short. We'd expect 675, the 1.618 extension. So we might get a little bit extended in the third, but I'm tracking 2 counts here, and I will update these as we go. Usually at a low, we either get a really quick reversal or they tend to take a little time to drag out, form a bottom, let people trade positions. But what I want to see here, which I have preached several times, is a break above this level. I'm not sure if it's from here as a 1, 2, and then we got a 3, 4, 5, or if this is actually an extended third wave. I also took this as a 1 2 1 2, could be 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, and we get a little bit extended here. I'm gonna have to wait and see. But I'm going to be paying very close attention to the pattern we get here for my potential leverage up. But ideally what we want to see here is at least a move above this level and consolidation at or above it. Because otherwise this can very easily go down and make those extra waves like I mentioned and go to the 1-to-1. Because this could just be an ABC right now, 3 waves. We come down, go sideways, come down, right? So I'm going to be updating this one quite often. As you can see, we potentially have a low in. Just need more price action here to get more confident on this. This does not give me confidence currently, but this pattern can always change. On the original pitchfork, we're not really respecting it. Modified shift, sort of, usually, and shift. Yeah, nothing's really working right now, so I need this price action to fill out before I can get pivots that are actually working with it. So we'll see, is this a 1-2, potentially third? We get our fourth and our fifth, and then we consolidate at or above, like so. Or do we just collapse from here, get our sideways correction, and continue and go to that 1-to-1 lower? Gonna wait and see, but as of right now, I'm just tracking this. Again, I will update this quite often. I am in it, but you can see how good this pattern looks. So very excited about ICP, very good project, very good potential trend starting literally right now. This is, if this ends up being the start of the trend, this is obviously the absolute best risk reward you're going to get in the entire move. All right, guys, I invite you to add me on Twitter. Sometimes I post things when I don't have time to make videos, and update this. It's at caching_waves. I'll be updating this regularly if you want to follow along, and I'll see you on the next one.